How's it going, everyone? It is Friday, May 3rd, 2024, and let's get right into the video for today. So I gave 3 picks yesterday. We're going to take a look at all of those picks. The first one here was your Hershey time spread. So yesterday, I got in on the spread for a 60-cent debit, and I was actually able to get out of the trade on that same day for a 25% win, which I will definitely take. Now, if you stuck with Hershey on the trade, you took the 195 calls, you would have made a very, very nice amount of money. They're going a little bit higher, but I think earlier in the day, I saw they were trading for over 100%. So, Hershey, nice win on that. The second trade that I gave out was VST long. And I wanted a more of a short-term swing on this. I had a profit target around 82 or about a 1 ATR move. So I took profits on VST this morning, right before or kind of right around when we got this bearish engulfing candle on the M5 chart. The ISM services came out. There is some D1 resistance here at the AVWAP-Q and the 50 SMA. So hit that over here. VST still looks pretty good, but those are 2 very nice wins. Now, the other one I gave here was a Lulu EDS. You can see here it's taking a little bit of heat, but Lulu is doing exactly what we wanted it to do, and I really couldn't ask for much more relative weakness. I mean, that would just be asking too much from Lulu. I can't, Lulu has done so much to me. It's given me so much, so I really don't want to impose on a good friend like that. Huge move up in the market. Market went up $6, testing these levels. Lulu barely budged, preserving the trend below the 8 EMA, and started to fill in the gap a lot earlier than SPY did, and we're finding some resistance at this gap over here. We took the trade somewhere around 351, and we have a whole week on this, so I still like Lulu. Here's the conditions for the thesis that we're watching out for. First, I want Lulu to retain and I want Lulu to keep its relative weakness, which it is doing. The second thing is the market needs to be still within these SMAs. If the market has a breakout over here, my market bias on a short term becomes more bullish. I don't really have a lot of latitude to stay in Lulu. It's really, really got to be special. So that's the market bias, the thesis that I have right now. If it breaks, take the loss on Lulu, but I'm not too worried about that because I know that we'll have great opportunity to trade on the upside, and we can really get back into our short-term swings, perhaps even a few longer-term swings spanning 1 to 2 weeks, even 3 weeks maybe, because we'll have formed a base and we'll have really started to take off. That's ideally what I'd like to see here on a bullish breakout. So I'm not worried again. If we lose on Lulu here, I know that I'll be able to make the money back on the upside. But until I see that, I know that Lulu is still good. I still have a chance to make some money in this trade. Okay. Other position we're in is on. Also get up to date with the market. Now it's between its 50 SMA and testing this, you can call it top of the channel. It's in a slight bearish channel here, compressing, kind of wedged between these 2 levels, not doing too much. Still feeling pretty good about this stock. And if the market breaks out, we should be able to take full profits on this PCS. If the market kind of meanders and chops around, that's still fine for on because I think it should remain above our short strike, which is the $31 level. And you can see that we tested this level right here, right at 31, found some support and moved back up. So on looking pretty good. 1 more week on this, and I think we'll be able to take some full profits on here. The other one that we're in is Target short. Now, I still like Target short on a D1 basis, but unfortunately, I kind of chose the wrong strategy for it, or maybe I didn't choose the wrong strategy for it, but definitely have one to review later. So Target gapped up at the market, sold off over here, and I took a small leg out of the stock where I sold or took profits on the short calls on target, so it essentially became an out of the money call, an out of the money put, and then I closed the out of the money put around here when the market started to find some support. So target was a loss. Took the loss on this one. Had profits earlier in the day, but it'll be one I have to look at on my trade reviews. When I think about this, really, I think the clue that I spotted here was this strong move up. And when we couldn't get anything going over here, I had to actually scratch out of the trade or take the small loss at this point at 110 when the market was just too strong. That's when I had to take the loss on target. But didn't quite get there. I kind of missed those warning signs. I still felt like I could get the win. I wasn't convinced that the market was going up, so that was the mistake on my part. This should have been a small loss, but instead it ended up being more of a max loss. Now, again, I still like target on a longer term basis. I still think it could produce, but my strategy didn't reflect what was happening in the trade, and I needed to make a quicker decision because I didn't have the time for the trade to go against me. All right, let's take a look at the market today. So we got through all the news for this week. A lot of news, and I like to take a look at the weekly chart here. Where'd we start, where we ended? Well, here's where we started. Here's where we ended. Pretty flat. We had this bid check, tested it, and then we held up. So pretty much right where we started, which is not bad. We're going to take a review and take a look at all of this stuff, all the news on Monday, after we see how this candle close happens. But to me, it seemed like my bias hasn't changed too much because the market hasn't done anything with this information. The main takeaway on a fundamental side is that the chance of rate cuts were greatly changed from the unemployment report today, as well as the slower pace of quantitative tightening that the Fed is beginning to start. Those are the two more bullish fundamental catalysts. But we're going to take a look at all this stuff on Monday. I think the dust is pretty much almost settled. We can evaluate, 1, how are the mega cap tech earnings doing? 2, what was really happening in the FOMC statement? 3, what's the impact of this economic news on the state of the economy? Those are the 3 things we're going to talk about on Monday. On a technical level here, we are short-term neutral, long-term still mildly bullish. We still have this long move and we've preserved those gains, but there hasn't been a whole lot going on here. Very tough to take some directional trades. We need a breakout in either way. So far, it's looking like we may break out to the upside, but we have to break above this level and actually hold above it before we get really anything going here. Let's take a look at the market on an M5 level. So, first of all, massive gap up. What the heck happened? 2 things. 1, Apple earnings. The earnings call did pretty well. Market went up maybe about $1. Held the gains, but really, the unemployment report at 8:30 shot the market up $3. And then we compressed all of those levels here. So, very, very bullish reaction to the unemployment report. That plus the Apple earnings means that this news may have some staying power, but we need the price action to confirm that. So we went up here, we tested the 50 SMA, the ABOQ, ISM services came out. We were in contraction territory, a lot lower than expectations. So very negative reaction to that, and we started to sell off a little bit into the gap, but you can see how it wasn't a very strong sell-off. And let's see if I can find an example of a gap up with a strong sell-off. I may not be able to. So it wasn't something, I mean, this is not the strongest sell-off, but it wasn't something like this into the gap where we had some orderly price action, where there was a very strong reversal Something like this is a little bit better of an example, right? Where we really poke into this gap and we get down here pretty quickly, right? There's some long candles, long red bars. Bars aren't really engaged. This move, very choppy. Lots of tails and wicks, some mixed candles. We take a move up, take a move down, form a double bottom here, and then we get a strong move up. And then this was the clue here that I could start taking some longs. Bears had their shot to try to fill in the gap. They couldn't even fill half of it, right? Here's the gap. Here's maybe the halfway point. Couldn't even get there. Weak gap early in the day. We found support, and now we're going to be rallying for the second half of the day. At least going to be testing the 50 SMA. That's what I am expecting in this move. I don't know if we're going to break it or not. Excuse me. But I did take some day trading long. So given that market bias, I'm going to give a day trading long that I really like, which is Trip.com. Trip.com. So I love this stock because we had not a huge gap up. We tested the bid early, and then we rallied pretty strongly in the first hour of the day. Now, the stock got a little bit ahead of itself, had to pull back to the 8 EMA. You could get in on this HA reversal. So I got in around here at around 52.80. Stock continued to rally, got ahead of itself again. So we know we're pulling back here. And this actually might be a great opportunity to add to the trade. We have a 1 OP bullish cross. Oh, Netflix might be doing something today. We have a 1 OP bullish cross. Let's take a look at the setup. So this cycle has started to produce. We have a little bit of room here to the 50 SMA, and we know that this stock has so far a pretty weak pullback, and we get a nice little signal bar, and we get a nice HA reversal candle here. So another flat bottom HA, then I'm in the trade. I like what I'm seeing in the stock, and I expect it to go higher. This stock has passed a lot of tests and expect it to produce on this next leg. If it doesn't produce on the next leg, then I may take a scale out of the ad, or I may even scale out of the whole position. But Trip.com day trading long is my long pick of the day. On a flat bottom HA candle, I want to see some move up. If we don't get the flat bottom HA candle, I would not be in the trade. You want to make sure you're joining in and confirming that trend strength. Now, if the market has a strong bearish reaction, there's not a ton of nice shorts that I really found here. I'm going to call out a couple that I did like. So here's EXP. Move down here, pretty choppy, grindy stock. Not really able to get a whole lot of trend going. But I like how it's being stuck to this low of the day here. If the market hits some resistance, this could be a nice short on a compression break. Net, similar sort of deal, just more of a dead in the water stock. Same thing with Fortinet as well. Couple of stocks that are doing pretty well. I liked NU. Stock is pulling back here after a strong move. Has to digest some of the gains. We already talked about Trip.com. VST, that's another stock we liked, and this stock is doing pretty well. Had a big move up today, compressed, didn't really fall down with the market, pulled back on a nice LRSI cross. That's a nice entry point for the stock. All right, 11:30, 11:35, you get in on the stock. You're getting some nice move, some nice production in this move. So definitely still like VST. But Trip.com is probably going to be my long pick of the day, and it's also good to keep in mind that some of these early strong stocks, they got faked out a little bit in the morning. FSLR was one of them. Still not bad, but pulled back a little bit, hasn't really found its footing. ANF is a pretty good example, was looking nice, but then pretty choppy, pretty wide close and opens. It's a very gappy stock, tells me there's not a lot of liquidity in it. But yeah, Trip.com is our long pick for the day. I don't think we can really have any. Let's see, look at our pre-earn options here. Sava's not too bad. These stocks will open on Monday. But yeah, not a lot of pre-enter options here, so we're going to take a look at some more earnings time spreads this week. We got through a lot of the earnings, so there may not be as many opportunities, but certainly some potential over here. Keep it light. And my current game plan for swing trades is keep it light and keep it balanced. I don't have more than 2 longs or 2 shorts on at a given time, and I'm always balanced in this case because I don't exactly know where the market's going to break out. When the market breaks out, I take the loss where I need to, and then I can finally get in on the trending side. So that is my game plan in terms of swing trades. In day trades, I'm looking to also be on both sides, and I'm really just looking to get the strongest stocks and have a great game plan. Your game plan is going to be very important in these conditions because nothing is really going to come easy, and you have to err on the side of not trading very little. Find the best opportunities and then stick with them. We're going to take a look at the Trip.com day trade on Monday. We'll also take a look at what has changed on a longer term basis, fundamentally, technically, in the market, and see how that will drive what picks we choose. Thanks for listening today, everyone, and I'll catch you all on Monday.